Agriculture plays a vital role in India's economy. In Tirap district, more than 85% of the rural households depend on agriculture, including livestock, forestry and fishery, and secondary agriculture like mushroom cultivation and value addition as their principal means of livelihood. The major climatic vulnerability of the Tirap district as a whole, and Nikra village, Sipini and Sumsi Pathar in particular, is water scarcity and low soil moisture status during Rabi season, and uneven distribution of rainfall. Total rainfall over the years and pattern of rainfall has been gradually changing. Therefore, moisture stress during Rabi season was taken as a climatic vulnerability of the Tirap district in selecting villages for implementation of national innovations on climate resilient agriculture, NICRA, a project coordinated at national level by ICAR Krida, Hyderabad, and at zonal level by ICAR Atari, implemented by KVK Tirap under Department of Agriculture, Government of Arunachal Pradesh in 2011. To address this climatic vulnerability, several interventions were implemented under NICRA project at Sipini village from 2011. In 2018, the project was extended to nearby village Sumsi Pathar and Lekhi Pathar. Total area of adopted village Sipini is 1,250 hectares, where an area of 140 hectares is cultivated land and remaining area comes under forest cover. The total number of households in the village is 59. The second Nikra village, Sumsi Pathar, has total 890 hectare area, out of which 106 hectare cultivated land is under rain-fed condition, and total households in the village is 31. Both are tribal villages inhabited by the Nocte tribe, and their predominant occupation is agriculture. The area experiences annual average rainfall of about 2,500 millimeters. To mitigate the climatic vulnerability, moisture stress during Rabi season, attempts were made to implement various technologies. After 2-3 years of initial trial and error, finally successful technologies were upscaled and emphasis was given on their horizontal expansion. Interventions were demonstrated under 4 major heads: NRM, crop production, livestock and fishery sector, and institutional interventions. Low-cost structures, known as jalkunds, were demonstrated for rainwater harvesting and raising high-value crops like vegetables. Supplemental irrigation from jalkunds helped to cope up with prolonged dry spells and critical growth stages of crops. Farmers of the Nikra villages are using life-saving irrigation from jalkund in Rabi season vegetables, especially in French bean, pea, and coal crops.
Yes, Sipinit আগত অকল ধানে খেতি হৈছিলে নিকৰা আণ্ডাৰত আমাৰ এই জলকুণ খন্দাইকিনি বাৰিষা দিনত নেচাৰেল নলাৰ পৰা জমা কৰোঁ বাহিৰত আউটলেট নালা একটা খান্দিছোঁ সেইটোৰ পৰা এই খেতিত নিওঁ এইটো জলকুণ খন্দাৰ পৰা বহুত অলপ আগবাঢ়িব পাৰিছোঁ.
The mighty river Satyo is running through the village and covers an area of 15 hectares under irrigation. Irrigation is being done by lifting water through pump sets provided under CHC Sipini. Owing to this intervention, farmers are producing 149.6 quintal per hectare potato, 45 to 48 quintals French bean per hectare, which was only 97.3 quintals per hectare and 32 quintals per hectare before introducing Nikra.
আমাৰ চিপিনি বস্তিত এই নিকৰা আণ্ডাৰত এই পাম্প ছেট পোৱা গৈছে এইটোৰ পৰা আমি সেই চাৰ্জু নদী যিটো আমাৰ বস্তি হৈ বৈ আহিছে এই পাম্প ছেট দি পানী টানি আমাৰ এই খেতিত কৰোঁ.
Other interventions under NRM in Nikra villages are in situ moisture conservation through minimum tillage in Rabi crops cultivation and application of organic mulching in cultivation of Rabi vegetables.
আমি আগত ইয়াত অকল ধান খেতি কৰাই আছিলে আমি কেবিকে পৰা পাৱাৰটেলাৰ লৈ কিনি ইয়াতে 200 সাল মাৰি খেতি আমি সৰিয়হ লগালোঁ আলু লগালোঁ তাৰ পৰা আমাৰ এক্সট্ৰা ইনকামো হৈছে আমাক চাই কিনি আমাৰ বস্তিৰ মানুহবোৰ
This mulching intervention not only conserves soil moisture by minimizing evapotranspiration loss, but also reduces weed growth and improves soil health after their decomposition.
আমাৰ এই টিয়াপ ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্টত খৰালি কালত বহুত পানীৰ প্ৰব্লেম হৈছে আৰু খেতি বাতি ভালকৈ হোৱা নাই এই গতিকে আমি আমাৰ কোনো উপায় নাই আমাৰ কেভিকে ছাৰসকলে আমাক যেনেকৈ শিকাইছে গোবৰ জাবৰ দি কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আমি তেনেকৈ কৰি আছোঁ আমাৰ এই খেৰ চেৰ দিয়াৰ পাছত মাটিটো ঠাণ্ডা থাকে আৰু পানীটো ওপৰলৈ উৰি নাযায় সেইকাৰণে আমি গোবৰ জাবৰ দি কিনি অলপ ঠাণ্ডা কৰি ৰাখিছোঁ মাটিটো.
Poor soil fertility is also one of the vulnerability of the district. Farmers never use fertilizers in crop cultivation. To maintain soil health and fertility status, the interventions like production of vermicompost units and their application in vegetables, cultivation of summer black ground, growing of green manuring crop, Dhainsa, and incorporation in Sali rice field, etc. are being implemented. Farmers increased their rice production to 39.7 quintals per hectare from 28.5 quintals per hectare by adopting these interventions.
আমি ফাৰ্ষ্টত আমাৰ টিৰাপ ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্টতে সাৰ চাৰ একো নিদিয়ে এতিয়া আমিবিলাক এইটো নিকৰা কেভিকে অহাৰ পিছতে আমিবিলাক দেশা বুলি কোৱাটো এপ্ৰিল মাহতে আমিবিলাক লগাই দিয়া 40 days পিছতে আমিবিলাক হাল বাই দিয়া ধান বি অলপ ভাল প্ৰডাকশ্যন হৈ যায়.
At present, there are 3 improved and 14 low-cost vermicompost units established at Nikra villages.
টিৰাপত গোটেই বস্তি মানে সাৰ কিবা নাই দিয়া আছিলে সেইবিকে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ পৰা আমাৰবিলাক লগতে এনেকুৱা শিকায় আমি ভূমি কম্পোষ্ট কৰোঁ কৰি মানে এইটো আমি আজিকালি এইটো সাৰটো দি শাক পাচলি ধান বহুত মানে আগবাঢ়ি যায় প্ৰডাকশ্যন বেছি হয় সেইটো আমাৰ প্ৰডাকশ্যন দেখি ওচৰ গাঁৱৰ মানুহবিলাকে আজিকালি এইটো ভূমি কম্পোষ্ট কামটো কৰিবলৈ শিকি আছে.
Cultivation of short duration and high-yielding varieties, especially soybean variety JS9752, Sali rice variety TTB 404, okra variety Punjab Padmini serves as best option for drought-prone areas under rain-fed system and enable farmers to cope with shortened growing season due to late arrival of monsoon and delayed plantings. Less germination and poor early growth of summer rice was a common problem due to less soil moisture during April and May in Nikra villages. Farmers harvested only 15 to 16 quintals per hectare summer rice. By adopting the intervention, cultivation of drought-tolerant high-yielding variety of summer rice, the Hangi, overcomes this vulnerability, and at present they are producing 27 to 29 quintals per hectare of summer rice.
Amak Nikra under KVK Tirap Phale Pura Amak ekta TTB 404 seed ekta disle. Etu bijon tu moi logaisilum. Etu joa bosor moi per hectare 40 quintal paisilum. Ako etu dhan tu moi ako ebar October mahote harvest korim. Tar pisot moi November mahote TS 67 etu सरसों बिजन আছে ইটো লগাম ইটো লগাই কিনে যোৱা বছৰ মই 8 কুইণ্টেল পাৰ হেক্টৰ পাইছিলোঁ এতিয়া এবাৰো আকৌ ইটো ধান কাটাৰ পিছত ইটো লগাম আৰু আমাৰ আগতে 6 মাহ ধান লাগিছিলে ইয়াতে একটা খেতি কৰোঁতে এতিয়া কেভিকে ফালে পৰা আহা পিছতে একটা খেতিতে দুটা খেতি কৰা হ'ল.
Before the Nikra project, the cropping intensity of the district was very less, which was only 125%. But after demonstrating Sali rice variety TTB 404, followed by rapeseed variety TS67, and other crops like pea and French bean, through minimum tillage, cropping intensity has increased to 158%.
जनरली हम लोग सरसों अक्टूबर लास्ट या नवंबर फर्स्ट में लगाते हैं तो लगाते समय क्या होता है कि हम लोग का हार्वेस्टिंग समय में बारिश आ जाता है तो वो बारिश का वजह से हम लोग का ये फसल खराब हो जाता है तो हम लोग का केवीके सर लोग ने एडवाइस दिए कि सितंबर लास्ट या अक्टूबर फर्स्ट में लगाने के लिए हार्वेस्टिंग समय बारिश नहीं होने का वजह से हमारा ये फसल अच्छा होता है.
The intervention is highly acceptable from socio-economic point of view, as cost involved in the intervention is same with the existing farmers' practice, but recorded 40% increase in yield without deteriorating the quality. At present, the intervention has spread to almost 20 villages, covering 125 hectare area, including Nikra villages. Cultivation of high-value vegetables in polyhouse was demonstrated to reduce the impact of high-intensity rains and heavy pest and disease infestation. This enabled increased availability of vegetables during off-season, and farmers of Nikra villages are earning more profit than cultivation in open condition. Introduction of improved breed of pig, Hampshire, 75%, and rearing of pig by constructing low-cost scientific pigsty could prevent unhygienic environment, stress, and disease incidences. It enhanced the body weight gain of pig and gave higher economic output to pig rearers. Farmers got additional returns of ₹3,000 per pig per year by rearing pig for fattening in low-cost scientific pigsty.
मैं बहुत साल से सुअर पालती हूँ यहाँ में और यहाँ ऐसा है सभी ने यहाँ में कच्चा घर ही बनाता है कोई पक्का ड्रेनेज सिस्टम नहीं है इसलिए बहुत बीमार हजार बहुत फैलती है और हम लोग का बहुत लॉस हुआ है केवी के ये वो लोग का आइडिया से मैंने ये कंस्ट्रक्शन किया है तो अभी बीमार हजार एकदम कम हो गया और प्रोडक्शन भी बहुत हो रहा है अभी यहाँ पे.
High mortality of poultry occurs due to high rainfall and several diseases, and production of local poultry reared by the villagers is low. To mitigate the problem, high-yielding back-kept poultry like Vanaraja and Kambrapa and duck breed Vigova Super M duck was introduced in Nikra villages. This improves poultry and duck breed, lowered the shortage of egg and chicken and duck meat, while improving the economic status of tribal families. Deworming and vaccination of birds and domestic animals are being conducted every year with the help of State Veterinary Department prior to monsoon. Regular vaccination, deworming, and mineral supplementation helped reduce mortality up to 20% and body weight gain by 7 to 12% in poultry and pigs.
লোকেল ফাৰ্মিঙে কৰি আছিলোঁ মানে ইমান মাছ নাই KVK পৰা হোৱাই পায় ট্ৰেইনিং পায় আমাৰ মানুহকেইটা ট্ৰেইনিং কৰি এতিয়া কম্পজিট ফিছ ফাৰ্মিং কৰি আছোঁ আৰু ইণ্টিগ্ৰেটেড ফিছ ফাৰ্মিঙো ট্ৰেইনিং দিছে তো আগৰকে অলপমান ডবল ইনকামটো হৈ আছে
শিপিনী বস্তি সব ৰাইজে মিলি কিনি 2011 চনত নিক্ৰা প্ৰজেক্ট আণ্ডাৰতে আমি VCRMC একটা ফৰ্ম হৈছে
CHCs are managed by farmers themselves, and hiring charges are worked out by farmers group. Revenue from hiring is deposited in a bank account and used for repair and maintenance of machines. CHC helps in quick and timely agricultural operations and covered more area under crop cultivation and helped in increase of cropping intensity. To promote climate awareness and literacy among farmers, simple weather stations were established at KVK and Nikra village. Seed banks were created to provide quality seed of resilient crop varieties. To create awareness on climate-related issues among farmers, regular training programs on climate-resilient agricultural practices are organized. These programs contributed to knowledge empowerment, skill development, and decision-making regarding investments in agriculture and coping ability of farmers. To enhance secondary agriculture, such as mushroom cultivation, training and demonstration were conducted especially for women farmers of the Nikra villages, and at present they're earning good revenue by selling their product in markets in their own villages. Different extension activities like field day, field visit, diagnostic visit, farmer scientist interactions, group meetings, etc. are conducted to disseminate the climate-resilient interventions to nearby villages of the district. The Nikra project identifies successful practices for climate resilience in agriculture. Nikra villages, such as Sipini, became hubs for learning climate resilient agriculture and paved the way for mainstreaming of climate resilient practices.